stream of the Rosenhearts for, we're going to work on the Nile overworld north today. Give me a second here. I'm going to start sharing with other people. I'm still new to live streaming. And, okay people, I'm going to go on Do Not Disturb for this. Alright. Let's see what we got here and see how do we save this. How do we send people the URL for live streaming? Bear with me folks, I am brand new to this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Still very, very new to this. Alright, here we go. Let's see, so do we have a live video? There we go. I'll just go ahead and copy this to Discord. There we go. It'll look really weird for a couple of seconds. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. So we can keep track of all this stuff. And why is Adobe Audition opening? I must hit the wrong button. Oh well. Alright, there we go. Alright. Now where is the chat function so I can see chat? Oh, there we go. Live chat. There we go. Okay, I got this. I got this. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, let's get this party started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change this to a layer. You know, this is kind of funny. I think I did an outside woodsy last time. So it's kind of more of the same. Pretty much. Oh, so we're going to go ahead and isolate the grass and the water. Okay, there we go. We'll call that grass, and that river. We'll hide the river for now and work on the grass. Actually, no, we're not. Before we do that, I'm going to do something different. And I do this for dungeons. We're going to have something called the critical path. I'm going to make that a nice bright red. Make it a nice bright red. Give me a second here. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint. There it is. Where's the paint button? There it is. I'm going to paint the critical path. So let me get my notebook out. There we go. Hello, Skyforger. How you doing today? All right, there we go, and then we go up to here. All right, so now I have the critical path kind of painted. I can use that to start mapping things out. let's see, we got our trees here, and we got our maps here. Here we go. There we are. That's what I need. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. I'm doing great, Skyforger. It's fantastic. This is my first live stream in 9 months, so I'm like, all right, let's just jump right on in and drive myself crazy. Hey, Robert, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Okay, let me go ahead and place this bridge. Make a couple of copies there. All right. And we'll do that there. There we go. We have a nice bridge. We'll call that bridge 1. Ah. All right. And we'll just move this. Yeah, that'll work. That looks good. Okay, scale out a bit. Alright, now we can build the second bridge, which we'll just make a copy. Call that bridge 2. Put that there. Ooh, we're going to have to delete some of that. So we'll zoom in. Hey, yeah, Robert, yeah, I'm hoping that I can help teach people some parallax mapping and show where we're at the game's development stage. But yeah, no, jump in, jump out, feel free to comment, whatever you want. It's all good, man. If you have any questions, ask them, and I'll do my best to answer them. I've got the chat screen on another monitor, so I can kind of keep an eye on things. All right. So that looks good from a distance. Ooh, wait a minute. Does that need to be pruned? I think that needs to be pruned. Just delete that one there. And delete that one there. Okay, save. Alrighty, now we're going to start adding trees. This is the real fun part. I say sarcastically. I'm going to add other stuff later, but right now I'm just going to start adding trees. So let's grab these guys right here. And put them over here so we kind of have a stock area of trees. And let's start with adding the big ones. Okay, so let me look at my map notes. Fun times. There we go. Hey Snooper, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. So we will let's work from the top to the bottom. Be a little easier for the layers. Okay, so oh, you know what I need to do? I need to place the marker that leads down to the temple. Because the way that this works, when the Rosenhearts sisters are exploring the Nile, they're actually going to go part above ground, part below ground. There we go. That. What do I want? What do I want? Don't want to do it that way. Yeah, I want to do it that way. Right there. Okay. So that's dungeon entrance. Need to probably start. What is that? That's trees. And make that big tree 1. Just big tree, because I'm going to make tons of copies of that. Put those in groups. Call those ground layer, because that's going to be the ground layer on the map. here. Keep that above the critical path. Or keep the critical path up at the top. Yeah, there we go. Dungeon entrance can go by itself over here. Trees, we can hide those for now, and we have the big tree. Okay, there we go. Literally doing the same thing right now, drawing silly lines over envy map. Yes, yes, Snooper, that's exactly what you do. You map out the critical path in advance, and then you design the rest of the level around it. Absolutely what you got to do. All right, time to start making tree copies here. Oop. Okay, we'll bring the dungeon entrance up there. There we go. And I'm going to stagger it because I'm going to be adding in a ton of other trees. So if it looks kind of catawampus and ugly right now, it's because I'm just getting started. I'm going to add in a whole bunch more later on. Hey Wario. Yes, this is Parallax Mapping, but it's also a dev stream. So this is kind of showing the advancement we're making in the Rosenhearts video game. Okay, that needs to be an area they can explore up there. Whoop. Probably need to lock that layer. In fact, I'll lock that layer and the river layer so I don't accidentally move those. I'll lock the bridges while I'm at it. Rosenhearts are, Rosenhearts are in, I would say we're about, right now we're working on the mapping and we're about about a fifth of the way through the mapping right now. So we're not quite at a point where we're ready to release anything. We have everything for the demo done except for the battle artwork and the music, and we're waiting on outside resources for that. So to answer your question, we're far enough that we can release a demo as soon as we have all our assets. Put that there. There, so I'm kind of mapping out how things are going to look as far as general guidelines here. How do you handle objects on the grid? While parallax mapping gives way more freedom, I feel it's very irritating when objects don't exactly align with the grid when you try to walk the area. Give yourself a wide berth. Don't give yourself just one grid space to walk. If you do that, you have to be very exact, and it can be really difficult, even if you're using Ganfly's region restrictions, to make it look good. I would not. I would give yourself about 2 grid spaces per area, walkthrough area. That's what I would do, Snooper. Let's see. I'm for pixel mapping is completely optional. Arm stick and tile base. Yeah. It's parallax mapping and pixel-based mapping is not for everybody. It is difficult. It is very challenging. You do look a lot better. Your maps look a lot better, but I mean, just the amount of work it goes into it. Hindsight 2020, maybe I should have considered working on just tile-based mapping, but I've started doing it, so I'm going to stick with it to the end. Okay, bring this here, down there, and down there. Okay, so we have all the big trees here. Make a group out of them. Big trees. There we go. Okay, hide those for a second. Yes, Skyforger, especially for Trom. Trom would look freaking awesome with parallax mapping. I mean, it is so good of a game anyway that parallax mapping would just make it look even better. I agree, Snooper. I agree completely. Okay, and we'll hide that one again. Go back up to the top and unhide the big trees. call that medium tree. And this is where it starts to get icky and sticky. Because I've got to make sure to hide everything the way, I got to make sure to put everything to where it layers properly. So I'm going to be working my butt off on getting that to look good. This is where it takes forever when you're layering trees. That's one of the reasons why I hate doing this. But unfortunately, we have places like the River Nile and other jungle areas where there's going to be trees pretty much everywhere. Oh crap, I copied the wrong thing. There we go, it's a medium tree. There we go. Fortunately with this one I don't have to be as tightly packed as the Black Forest was. That was a real bitch to make. There we go. Now you got it. Okay. Yes, talk amongst yourselves. Trom is an awesome game. Studio Blue completely supports Trom in its development. Absolutely breathtaking game. Blew Teal and I away when we played the demo of it. So absolutely 100% recommend that game. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be playing some trees for the next 30 minutes. There we go. Stagger that a bit so it doesn't look boring. Here's the important part. We got to make sure, I need to do this. We need to make sure that we actually block off the side. What the heck just happened? Need to make sure we block off the side here. There we go. Rosenhearts, why the name? Rosenhearts are the name of the two sisters that are the stars of the game, Victoria and Naomi Rosenheart. We actually on the Discord channel under the Rosenhearts Progression channel posted their pictures. They're two 15-year-old girls, which if you know anything about Victorian times, 15 was undebuted, which is basically you're still considered to be a child in culture. And they're thrust into an adventure, a very high adventure, an epic adventure, and they have to rely on each other and their allies and their friends to get through their adventure and get through safely. And you'll meet characters from classical literatures like Phileas Fogg from Around the World in 80 Days, and other characters like that, as well as some original characters who basically are there to get the girls through their adventure. So that's the long answer. Flip that. Yeah, it'll look fine. Yeah, it is unusual, but the idea is to actually create this into a series. So they'll start off at 15, but as each game goes in, they'll be a year older. That's a good question, Snooper. It's a fictional universe where the characters from various works of Victorian fiction are alive. So not only would you have H.G. Wells exist as an author or Bram Stoker exist as an author, but you'd also have Dracula. And it would be more that Bram Stoker actually wrote the accounts of Dracula, interviewing people like Van Helsing and Mina Harker, as opposed to creating the work himself. So I guess in a way it is more high fantasy with some realism thrown in for the culture. Oh, fun, 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 fun. That didn't work out. Just start over here. Boom. Yes, delete. Why make extra work for myself? Okay, there we go. Why the Victorian theme? That's something that Teal and I have always been really interested in. We love the Victorian theme. We love steampunk. We love gaslight, and it's just something that we've really enjoyed. Just that particular genre. So we wanted to create something in a genre we really liked. The protagonists are going to go to different countries. They'll be going to places like Bavaria, England, Austria, and they're also going to go to places in Africa like Kenya, Egypt, places like that. Yes, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, because of the gaslight, that was just freaking incredible. Gameplay sucked, but then again, that was when they were pumping out one Assassin's Creed game per year, and they didn't work on quality so much as quantity. Will you move? Jeez, okay, it keeps popping up. Stop it. There we go. Okay, something's going on here. Hold on, guys. Alright, are you going to actually move this time? Alright, there we go. Whew. Stealing his technical difficulties. Yes, Skyforger Steampunk is awesome. And yes, Lakiri, I have heard from a number of people that Origins is fantastic, that it is a great apology for the things that were wrong in the original series, and that it needs to be checked out by pretty much everybody. And I heard it plays a lot like The Witcher, which that was really interesting. Teal and I actually talked with somebody who was telling us that, and we found that to be very fascinating. Because The Witcher 3 is an awesome game and plays really well. There we go. No, the focus, Wario, the focus on Rosenhearts is on the story. Absolutely, we're going to create a story that comes out during the journey. So I wouldn't exactly say it's like an Odyssey where the focus is on the journey and not the story. The story itself is, can't give it away, but the story itself is very chapter, episode, and I don't want to say episodic, but very chapter-esque. So it'd be like reading a book. That's probably the best way to describe it. Okay, almost done with the medium trees, thank you goodness. Oh, we're going to make a whole line of trees here in a few minutes. That's going to be fun, he says sarcastically. That's actually a really good question, Wario. I don't know if we were planning on actually having the game broken up into named chapters, like you'd start a story and it would say chapter 1 this, chapter 2 that. That's actually not a bad idea. I'll have to talk with Teal and see if she wants to do something like that. That's actually pretty awesome. Okay. Where's the small tree? There's the small tree. Bring that up to the top here so we can do that. Excuse me. Small tree up at the top. That ought to be interesting. Okay, we'll just use that to fill in the holes. How far down does it go? My goodness. There we go. That took a little too long. Okay, small tree over here. No. Small tree not over there. Small tree over here. Chapter 1, the mobile adventure. Chapter 2, the puzzle chores. Chapter 2, a portal to another world. Woohoo! See, that's good stuff. That really is. That's good stuff. I'll definitely have to talk to her about it, whether or not we want to name them chapters or not. There we go. Just flip them every now and then so it doesn't look like it's the same tree. Yeah, but you've already made an awesome, complex puzzle game, so, you know, there is that. Me and trees. I have a love-hate relationship. There we go. So much fun. There we go. There we go. Alright. Yeah, let's see what else I need to do. Let's bring it over here. And bring one down over here. There we go. And I'm going to bring one here and one here just to kind of round it out. There we go. Save, because always save early, save often. Okay, now I have a mixture of trees here, so I'm going to go ahead and select. Actually, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. Select, select, select. That did not work. Okay, we're going to do it this way. Make it easy on me. Okay, and we're going to flip that tree. And we're going to grab a medium one. Bring it up here. Okay, I'll put that like that. And this is a really good, if anyone's doing parallax mapping, this is a really good technique for creating a lot of forest very quickly, because dealing with trees are just ridiculous. Okay, so now we have this tree, and this tree, and we just merge these layers. And now we have a mess of tree. We can just put that there and then just kind of stagger copy it. There we go. We've created a border. Do that over here. Actually, we can probably keep doing it. Kind of make it look like a dense jungle. There we go. See, the human eye is not going to be able to tell exactly what it's looking at. So if it jumbles together a little bit, that's actually just fine. There we go. Just looks like a jumbled mess of trees, i.e. a jungle. Neat little cheats like that the game developers like to use. Because game developers are notoriously lazy. There we go. So now we have our trees. Thank goodness I'm done with that. Let me have a sip of my tea. Alrighty. Done with trees. Now we get to add in rocks. It's almost as exciting. Fortunately, we don't have to add in that many rocks in order to excite people. Where did the idea for Rosenhearts come from? A story that Teal and I were telling. Just kind of blossomed out into a video game. Just something that came out over time. Magnum opus, I don't know. I really don't know. Magnum opus, for now it is. For now it is. Are we going to ever develop anything else as Studio Blue? Really depends on how successful this game is. If this game is successful, like I said, we have a whole series planned for the Rosenhearts. If the game is not successful, then, oh, there it is. We'll have something to consider. But I think the game's going to be successful. I believe it is. I did not name those. Alright, fine. Big rock. I'm not going to rename all that. Forget it. Alright. We'll rename that small rock. How do you do water with Parallax? Cropping out anything? Oh, I'll absolutely show you how to do water. I'll do water next. Water is its own happy little thing. Bob Ross used to say its own happy little thing. Happy little trees, happy little clouds. Boom, boom. All right, there we go. Happy trees and happy rocks. We are locking those in place so they don't move. All right. Let's see. Let's hide the critical path. That's going to be fun to Parallax. We'll have to... Yeah, I kind of broke my own rule. There's a path right here that's just going to be one square along. Oh well, I can make it work. I'm a pro. Looks good there, looks good there, and then looks good there. Okay, so let's deal with the water next, since Snooper was asking about water. Water is a challenge. Let's see, is that Sprite bin? Yes. So let's go to outside A5. That's my general go-to for water effects. And what I do is I grab these bad boys right here. Minus this. And this. Copy and a paste. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use these as sort of a template to add depth to the water. I'm going to call this my water overlay. I'm going to put it right above the river. And understand that I still have a lot more to do. I'm kind of not going in the order I usually go in. I'm just going in the order that I think it is the easiest to present to you guys. I have my own special order I like to go in. Okay, so we're going to prune this and just deal with this. And we're going to put that there. And I'll show you what I'm doing there in a second. Let me go ahead and hide all this nonsense. There we go. Add that there. Put that over here to hold on to a new one. So then what I do is, with the actual river selected, I go to the magic wand, I select that, then I go back to the water overlay, the one I'm going to operate on, and I delete. That deletes everything except the rocks. Then what I do is I take the eraser and I kind of cut out the area that's not and then when I bring the opacity down, it creates that water effect. See? But I'm now going to cheat, because that's what game developers do. And I'm going to bring this down here and use this as much as possible. Just repeat use. Lakiri, this is the River Nile. This is the northern part. It's actually going to be interesting too, and one of the characters are going to mention it. The Nile, as you know, is the only river in the world that flows backwards. Instead of going north to south, it goes south to north. So this is the northern end of it, and they're actually traveling up to go south. And it is going to confuse the character at first, but it explains why, it explains why the characters are moving in a southern direction while going up the map, because the river flows backwards. So this, to answer your question, this is the Nile. Okay. Put that there and that there. Bring that in. Select. Select, delete, and where's it? Happy eraser, there's the eraser. There we go. Ta-da! And that is how you do water effects. So that's how you add depth to your water. Now I'm going to add more stuff in there like rocks and stuff. I assume Rosenhearts is going to be a Steam game. Yes, definitely going to be Steam. Not sure where else, if we're going to put it on Game Jolt or anything else. Steam is just the best way to transport files, in our humble opinion. So definitely a Steam game. Will you put submerged cliffs too? Could. Not going to do that since the Nile is pretty flat, but could. Alright, let's go ahead and do some river rocks. Let's do this one here. Ooh, I can do some river branches too. I'm going to do that. And for river rocks, real simple. What you would do, I'm going to need to make the ground layer visible so I don't put it underneath the bridge. For things like river rocks and stuff like that, just delete the bottom of it. So just part of it shows. And call it a day. Oops. And flip these every now and then so you're not doing the same thing, because the same thing over and over again looks boring, you see? Change it up a little. See how that looks. It might be too many. Yeah, it's too many. I've never been to the Nile. This is very helpful. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I've never been to the Nile either, but I've seen enough documentaries on it to know that it flows north to south to north. If we had all the assets to finish the entire game, like let's say all the maps were done, probably a year total to do all the mapping and everything. But that's an estimate. Don't hold me to that. Most game developments that have any sense of scale like this would take about 2 years, and we've been working on it off and on for a year, obviously running the channel and doing Let's Plays and other things. We don't work on the game nearly as much as we want to. But our hope is this, Lakiri. Our hope is that once we get a demo out that we can actually assemble a team to help, because then the development will go a lot faster. So, knock on wood. Alright, let's put in some wood. There we go, it's going to look real nice. Oops. Okay, now let's get a close-up look at this. I'll definitely buy Rosenhearts. Thank you, SG. Appreciate it. Snooper, I'm really stuck right now. What else can I put in a throne room besides a throne, a carpet, and some statues? Really, pillars. Pillars are awesome. Put pillars in there. Stone columns. Hands down. Put that. We'll just do that at 85%. Yeah, that'll work. No, 80%. There we go. Alright, so that's how you do water effects and make water look great. Pillars of Eternity. I actually am friends with one of the developers of Pillars of Eternity. Actually, one of the writers for Pillars of Eternity. She is an author friend of mine. We used to live in the same city, and then when she moved out to work for Obsidian, she ended up working on Pillars of Eternity. So, absolutely fantastic development team. Great game, great bunch of people. Okay, what do I want to do next? I think I'll work on the grass and make the grass look more organic, because right now the grass looks like crap. Gross. Mods. Okay, so let's grab this, make this darker. Make that a little less. Just a little less. There we go. So this is the fun part, working with grass mods. This is where you get to really, I know Obsidian's awesome. This is where you get to really make your map look good. And I'm going to have to pull up some information on in my notebook. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Okay, so first thing we do is we work on the grass side, and we're going to make it a little darker. Oh, gotta unlock it. There we go. So we go to brightness and contrast, and we bring that down to -70. Yeah, there we go. So that's sort of a darkish base. Then we go up here to grass. We go back here to grass, and we're going to select the actual layer itself. So I went ahead and I inverted it. I think I did. Oh, whatever. Select inverse. There we go. But I'm actually going to go up to grass mod. So I selected the layer where the grass is on the grass layer itself. But then I went up to grass mods, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in with something called clouds. So I'm going to do clouds, which makes it look absolutely ridiculous. And then I'm going to do one of difference clouds, which makes it look even more ridiculous. So it looks like absolute crap. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 70% opacity and change it to overlay. So now it has more of an organic grassy look to it. I'm not done, but that's... Hi Steel, how are you? Where's Teal? Hi Ventus! Teal is in the other room working on some other stuff, and it's just me live streaming today. So, okay. So now that we've done that, we get to actually increase the... we get to make this look even more grass-like. Go ahead and zoom out. Take off the grid. And what I did is I selected a stamp tool. And this stamp tool, I'm using this right here. Actually, I'll use that right there, which is sort of a leafy texture. And I'm using this leaf brush right here. So this leaf stamp right here. And then I just bring it on down and kind of paint with it. And that gives it some spottiness. You don't have to do too much, just enough. Just enough. So there, now it actually looks like a jungle floor instead of just a bunch of dirt. We're going to call this the base. Call this the base layer. But we are not by any stretch of the imagination done, because now we get to make shadows, which is like the most important thing. Because shadows and lighting add depth. So we do this at the top of the base layer. We're going to create a... Actually, do I want to put it below the water layer? No, I'm fine here. I'm going to make a layer here. And I'm going to call it ground shadows. And I'm going to decide which way the sun's coming. So the sun's going to come from up here and go down here, kind of the standard thing we have for most RPG Maker maps. And do a brush here. Bring that all the way to black. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint in the shadows. And yeah, this does look kind of catawampus, but don't worry, it's all going to come together in the end. And I can make the brush a little bigger. There we go. Make it 42. Thank you, Ventus. Do our best. Okay, and now we'll do this side. Save. Always got to be careful in case something crashes. Since you played Trom, could you share some insight on the writing? I mean, how your opinion of the dialogue flow? Was the story told at a good pace with inconsistencies? Are you talking to me, Lakari, or are you talking to someone else? Please verify that, because that is quite a bit of an answer there. Thank you, Simprose. Thank you, Lakari. Yes. Let me go ahead and answer that. I want to stop for a second and answer Lakari. The writing is actually very good. It flowed really well. The characters were believable in the way that the dialogue came out. Okay. Every character, and this is really difficult for a lot of new writers to understand, every character has to have a certain cadence to the way they talk. A certain, da-da, 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 da-da. It's like I speak a very certain way that it's Steele talking. Same thing with Teal. When she's talking, it's Teal. There's a certain rhythm or cadence to the way we talk. And that flows out in writing by having the style of the voice come out and the writing reflect that style and that rhythm. You do that very well in Trom, Lakari. Really well. And I can tell when each of the characters are talking, even if I didn't have the character portrait, I would know who was talking. I'm glad that we have the character portrait. It just enhances the experience. So basically what I'm saying is that since each one of your characters has its own unique voice and its own unique rhythm to the way they're talking, it's very well written. The story comes out in a very believable way. I I feel like I'm actually on a journey into a mind of a person who's either having a fever dream because he got hit by a car, or he's having hallucinations, or he's just crazy. I don't know what the story is, but everything comes out in a really well-paced structure. I don't feel like I'm being pushed at any point into the story or being told this is a this is this point of the story, this is this point of the story. You never do that. It all just kind of flows together. So really the whole point of that diatribe is to say that you've done a fantastic job with the writing, and you need to continue that. Were there any inconsistencies? The most inconsistent part is the backyard with the monkey and the well, although I love the fact that the well has a teal-colored steel bar in it. When you go into the backyard that one time, it does seem to be kind of Silent Hill and Bojangled. Teal loved it. I liked it, but I felt like it could be a little bit more, hey, I'm so shocked the moment I walk into this scene, what the hell's going on? I feel like I've walked into a madhouse. Then when he sees the monkey and he has the line, I've officially gone insane, then that might make a little bit more cohesive. But other than that, everything is great. It really is. It's a very well put together game. Probably not to discount anyone else, because everyone who's done anything with Studio Blue is absolutely fantastic. But Trom is probably one of the best games we've ever played. So hopefully that answered your question. And Skyforger, take notes. Thank you. Yes, take notes, Skyforger. Take those notes. I could probably put a little bit of shadow under the bridge. Which line was added? The one about the monkey? Hey, Zarsla, how you doing? Okay, so now that we have our ground shadows and it looks absolutely terrible, we go ahead and change it to 60% opacity, and then we can just fill in the blank spots. Little patchworks here and there to make it look a little better. And don't worry about going over like that. I'm going to go ahead and delete anything that's on the river, so we can go over a little bit, and it's just fine. Oops, missed a little here. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and trail the river since I'm going to be deleting part of the shadows. Okay, then we go back over here to the river, and go to ground shadows, and oops, wrong one, invert, and then delete. There we go. Speaking of speech patterns, this is one of the hardest things I encounter in writing. Any advice? Dialogue, believable, flowing, natural dialogue. Toughest things from... Yes, I agree completely, Simprose. Believable, flowing, natural dialogue is very, very difficult. Oh, the monkey's awesome, Skyforger. The monkey had us laughing. I mean, it was like right out of Silent Hill. It was just this great moment of just, why is there a monkey here? Why is the monkey chilling out? What is the monkey doing? Great stuff. Okay, so now we have that. So now we're going to add some sky shadows. Do we need to add sky shadows? No, not really. We're just going to add some lighting effects, and that'll be that. Okay, so now we're going to add some lighting. We do the polygon tool. Bring it out to full screen. Okay, and we'll do it like this. Oops. Might help if I do it right. Ah! Oops, that looks terrible. There we go. I think that'll work. We don't want too much light. Okay, let's see what I got on my notes here. F7, FF, C2. Oops, we need to stagger that. Feather, 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 feather. Feather at 10. There we go. Okay. And why is that on dungeon entrance? Make that its own layer. Sunbeams. There we go. I will try that again. Feather 10. The Doom. 35%. And overlay. Ugh, that looks terrible. There we go, just go 35% normal. Bring that down to 15. This is the Nile. Not exactly known for being. I'm not sure where the conversation's going in chat right now because I've been busy working on the map. But one of the techniques, and if this is what you're talking about, Lakiri, I apologize for double talking you. But one of the techniques I learned whenever I write dialogue is to sit back and speak it out loud, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. That absolutely is essential, like you said. If you're talking your dialogue out loud and it sounds clunky or it's not coming across well, then it needs to be rewritten. And I'm going to make that 20. There we go. Now, do I want any shadows in the sky? No, I think I do. Thank you. Hey, Barry B, how you doing? Okay, so let's do the rays first. Bring those back to 20%. And the sky shadows, which will fall over the characters, is 36. It's too much contrast. Way too much contrast. There we go. That's still too much. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's go ahead and feather it out 20. Oof. It's going in the opposite direction, isn't it? Let's expand first, because we kind of want to overlap a little. And there's a measure of trial and error here. I mean, just because you've done, you know what? I don't even like that. That looks terrible. I'm not going to go with sky shadows this time. Everything is trial and error. There we go. We'll just keep the sun rays. Alright, if I want to do sky shadows, I'm going to have to put them in manually, which is going to take a while, but hey, we're doing great on this this stream. We might actually add a few extra things in here. Oh, got to do something for the dungeon entrance. Go. Yes, Lily Renewal. Absolutely wonderful game. Absolutely wonderful. Cannot say enough good things about it. Alright, let's see. Do I want to do Sky Shadows or not? Sky Shadows, guys, just so you know, Sky Shadows are shadows that appear above the player. They're really good inside, and outside they're kind of tricky. So I have to decide if I want to do it this way or not. I don't think it's necessary. It's not storming like it was in the Black Forest. I don't know. I'm at a mixed feeling. What do you guys think? Should we add in some shadows that appear above the player, or should we just go ahead and keep it as it is? You decide. While they debate over that, I'm going to take a look at what is next. Okay, cool. Are the rays going to move? No. No, this is all static. This is not using Kauz's lighting thing. This is they're static. They'll appear above the player and light the player up, but the rays aren't going to sparkle like with that plugin. Ultimate Lighting, because I think that actually he won't use it for commercial games, I believe. So I'll kind of show the effect here. I think. I'm going to try to show you guys the effect. Nope, I don't have anything to show you guys. Sorry! I would love to have shown you guys how it looks in the Black Forest, but I don't have any saves that are there, and it's going to take way too long to go through all the dialogue in the current demo. So, oh, thank you, Zarsla. That's actually a really good question, Barry. I don't think it's going to detract from the map, but I don't think it's going to add to it at this point. I could possibly add some sky shadows over here, so if the player walks here, they go into shadow, but it's not really... I don't think there's enough to actually justify it. That's why I'm not pushing to do it. Echo 3, first off, I love Echo. Echo is an amazing person. She is the reason why Teal and I do Parallax Mapping. Hands down. Like, she is the reason. Her and Fallen Lorelei are the reason we do Parallax Mapping. Gaia's Melody, I haven't played it, but everything I've seen of it, it looks amazing. But then again, she's an amazing developer. See, so we've gone ahead and said, I think we're going to call it this. I think this is going to be the end of this map. I think we're going to call it for that because there's really no reason why we should continue messing with something that already looks good and does what I want it to do. So, thank you, Barry. In a way, you helped answer my question. So we're going to go ahead and say this is the finished map. This is what it looks like. The player will enter from this area here, and we'll follow this critical path that we already mapped out. And all these are optional areas here for them to explore where they can get goodies. And they'll end up right here where they'll go underground. So I'll leave this open for a few minutes in case anyone has any last minute questions about mapping or writing or whatnot before ending the stream. Just let me know if you have any other questions. I'll keep this open for about another 5 minutes or so. Thank you, Ventus. Thank you very much. I'm not sure who Yoji Ojima is. Maybe my brain is too stuck in the creative space right now and I can't pull facts out of the ether. But who is that, SG? Oh, he's the maker of RPG Maker. That's awesome. Thank you, Snooper. Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, Ventus, Rosenhearts are a story that Teal and I have been developing kind of on the side for about 5-7 years now. Are there crocodiles in the Nile? Yes, there are crocodiles in the Nile. Yes. Yes, Lakiri, there are. And crocodiles will be one of the enemies you face here in this area. But to answer your question again, Ventus, we've been developing the story for a long time. It started as sort of a side story that Teal and I came up with, and it just kind of ballooned from there. Okay, I'm going to give it another few minutes. Any other questions, please let me know. I don't like battles nowadays. I just want good stories. Yeah, but this is a standard epic RPG, so you're going to have fights in it. Sorry. But at least the fights here aren't just spamming the attack button. You do have to tactically use your techniques in order to weaken the enemy before you smite them. Not all battles are difficult. Some of them you can just go ahead and smash the enemy and kill them, so it's not like every single one of them you have to employ some sick strategy, and it takes forever to get through each fight. But you have techniques that allow you to debilitate your enemy and kill them a lot quicker. And if you use those smartly, you can tear through enemies, especially once you learn their weaknesses. That's true, Snooper. I actually was enjoying this. I was nervous. Believe it or not, despite being a YouTube personality, I get a little nervous about being live because I can't go back and retract any mistakes I make. So I was a little nervous about doing this, but the guys on the Discord channel, especially Lakiri and Skyforger, kind of talked me into it. So I'm glad I did this. I'm definitely going to do it again. This was a lot of fun. Okay, if there's any other questions, I'm going to close this down in about a minute or so. Do I use layer plugin for Parallax? Yes. Yes, absolutely. I don't remember the name of the plugin off the top of my head, but I believe it's, I don't remember the name of the plugin. But it allows you to do a light layer, a ground layer, which would be things for bridges, overlay layers and stuff like that. So unfortunately, SG, I don't remember the name of it, but I do know that it is a plugin, or a, yeah, plugin. Ventus, what we have put a freeze on the list right now for accepting new games because we have way too many and it's become unmanageable and just way more than we can handle right now. So if you're on our Discord channel, if you're not, I highly recommend you join the Discord channel. It'll be in the description for the stream. We will put messages there and on the RPG Maker forums when we've unfrozen the list. How do the girls fight crocodiles? Very carefully. Those things are murder logs. Any ideas for episode topics on RPG Maker and Mechanics series? Doing levels, skills, learning, stats, single currency. That's a good question, Zarsla. I would definitely do those. That's good. Another one is balancing. Balancing is a huge thing with RPG Maker games, and unfortunately a lot of people don't put enough stock into balancing. They just go ahead and create their game and throw the enemies and throw the troops together and then expect the player to, survive. And it just doesn't work. So I would totally do a live stream on balancing. That might even be something I do later on. Yeah, see you on Discord, Ventus. Absolutely. Join us. We'd love to have you. Okay, one more minute, and I'm going to go ahead and close the stream down. If anyone has any last-minute questions, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, catch me on Discord. Any idea what the next RPG Maker on the list is? I know it's based on Discord, but it's missed with the Patreon, which you guys already done. Barry, I'll have to answer you that on Discord. I don't have the list in front of me right now. But I'm pretty sure I know which game it's going to be. As soon as January rolls around, we're going to knock out the last of the Patreons. But we're doing non-Patreon ones right now. So, yeah, let me get back to you on Discord on that. All right, guys, let me go ahead and shut this down. You all have been wonderful. Oh, will you do more RPG Maker tutorials like plugins to use or mechanics? I'm not sure about that. Let me ponder on what I want to do, and I will absolutely get back to you guys when we do more of these. All right, well, if you like what you saw, lay the smack down with that like button below, subscribe to our channel, comment in the comment section, consider supporting us on Patreon, connect with us over Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and we will see you in the next